Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Napoleon, Winston Churchill, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., and Monkey D. Luffy. These are some of the greatest leaders in history. But can we really call Luffy a great leader? Outside of plot armor or luck, does Luffy really have what it takes to be a leader of a crew that can change the world? What makes a good or bad leader? Leaders come in all different shapes and sizes, different methods and different ways. Whether someone is good or not doesn't make them a good leader or a bad leader. A bad person can be a good leader and vice versa. Luffy, on one hand, has many qualities that you would consider bad for leadership. He is impulsive, often taking charge headfirst into battle without strategy or plan. This is great for his charm and personality, but he has found himself in bad situations many times now. He is impatient, does not take the time to understand the situation, and always just leaves that burden for his crew. He has a disregard for the rules, which of course he does, he's a pirate after all, but if you plan to mirror Luffy's leadership style, this is one of those traits that you may want to leave behind. A good leader will always be able to lead without having to break the rules or any laws. But despite any of these supposed flaws, Luffy is an amazing leader and has a very loyal and dedicated crew and a fleet of followers. So why is that? Why is someone who is so strong and dedicated to reach his own goals like Zoro is willing to throw everything away for the sake of this man? Well, first of all, it's because Luffy is loyal to his crew first. Nami wasn't loyal to Luffy until she saw what he was willing to do for her sake. He fought for her village, people he didn't really know or have to fight for, but he did it for her. His loyalty to Robin and how he moved heaven and earth to rescue her swayed Frankie into joining him as well. He fought for a kingdom that wasn't his own, for people that were wronged for the sake of Chopper. His loyalty to his crew and the people he cares for is what breeds loyalty in others. If you want loyal followers, you have to be a loyal leader first. But Luffy isn't only loyal to his crew, he trusts his crew wholeheartedly. Luffy hand selects members of his crew, well, Robin not so much, based on what he knows he needs, like navigator, chef, doctor, shipwright, and of course musician. But he doesn't only trust them to do the job that they were given. He trusts them to get things done and trusts their judgment. When they go on adventures and they split up, each has a task to do. He knows that his crew is going to get their job done, so he can focus on defeating the main boss of that arc. He doesn't have to hesitate or doubt anything else because he knows his crew has his back. One of my favorite scenes that illustrates this is on Fishman Island when Luffy walks towards Hody Jones. Two members of Hody's crew comes to attack Luffy and he doesn't react to them at all. He doesn't take his eyes off of Hody because he knew that Zoro and Sanji were there. He didn't have to stop or hesitate. When you trust those that you are meant to lead, they will rise to the occasion and they will not break that trust. Now, I mentioned that one of the bad leadership qualities that Luffy has is being impulsive and often get into chaotic situations. But the thing with Luffy is that one of his best qualities is that no matter the situation he's in, he is resilient to an ungodly level. Now, this may be called plot armor by some, but there have been countless times when Luffy has been at the verge of death, but fought his way back to win. Reverend Jesse Jackson said it best: leaders must be tough enough to fight, tender enough to cry, human enough to make mistakes, humble enough to admit them, strong enough to absorb the pain, and resilient enough to bounce back and keep on moving. This was true each time Luffy suffered a loss. Crocodile defeated him twice, left him for dead, but Luffy still came back the third time to beat him. Luffy saw his whole crew get beat in front of him and could do nothing to stop it, but he still moved forward. He saw his brother die in front of him, and although this broke him for some time, Luffy still had enough mental resilience for this to not completely destroy him. Good leaders are not just leaders during the good times, but those that can show resilience during the hard times. With all the bad and good leadership qualities that Luffy has, courage is probably the best quality and one that we should all try to implement in our lives. This is Luffy's defining trait. He isn't a man without fear, as you can see when he reacts to Garp showing up. but he does not let fear get in the way of his dreams. He never backs down from a fight, no matter who is in front of him, no matter the odds of him winning being close to zero. Courage is the one quality that every great leader needs to have. To be willing to take risks to achieve your goals means facing challenges head on and leading by example. Luffy knows that if he had backed down when he faced Arlong, Crocodile, and now Lucci, Moria, Magellan, the admirals, the Yonko commanders, the Yonko themselves, if he had backed down from any of them, then he would never be the Pirate King. Monkey D. Luffy may not fit the mold of the traditional great leader, but he possesses qualities that inspire and motivate his crew to change the world. So whether your goal is to be the Pirate King or some other less exciting goal, remember to channel your inner Luffy and be someone who is loyal, trustworthy, resilient, and courageous. Let Luffy be a reminder that anyone can be a great leader if they lead with their hearts. This was the Sad Pirate King. Thank you, and stay safe.